Hello and welcome to your lesson on time. We're going to do some starfall practice on time. As you can see, I'm not logged in right now, so only certain activities are available, but time is one of them. Okay, so I'm going to choose one of the clocks to practice, and I'll choose the heart clock.
What is the time?
Okay, so we need to start with the little hand first. So the little hand is between the 7 and the 8. So I like to think of the hands having to move from one number to another to get to the end of the finish line. So it started, but it did not get to 8 yet. So it's not 8 o'clock, it's 7 something. So now I need to count by fives to look at what my minutes will be. This is my minute hand. So I start at 1 and count by fives. Can you count with me? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So this shows 7:30.
Super cool. It is 7:30.
Great job.
What is the time?
Okay, this one's a little bit easier. So the little hand is where we start. 7. It's pointing right at the 7. That's easy. Now, when the long hand is pointed at the 12, that means it's o'clock. So this clock shows 7 o'clock. I'm going to click 7 o'clock.
All right. It is 7 o'clock. What is the time?
All right, one more. So here we have the little hand and the big hand are pointing at the same number. Do you know what number this is? 12. So the little hand first, it shows us 12. And the big hand, when it's pointing to the 12, we say o'clock. So this shows 12 o'clock. Not 10:30, but 12 o'clock.
Yay! It is 12 o'clock.
One o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock.
Great job. So that's a game that you can practice telling time all on your own without even having to worry about logging in. You can select all the different clocks that come up. Hello, I'm going to walk you through a lesson on Nearpod on time. So the Nearpod code you'll need is HBOYF. Again, that's HBOYF. So you're going to take your code, HBOYF, and go to nearpod.com or the Nearpod app and enter that in. HBOYF and hit join. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is join the session. So I'm going to type my name, you type yours. When you're done joining the session, typing your name, hit join session. So we're all working on different time scales, whether it's to the hour, to the half hour, or to the 15-minute mark. Right now, we're distinguishing between AM and PM. Since I'm walking you through step by step, I think that all the students should be able to do 2 problems of each. And hopefully that helps. All right, so our first 2 questions are time to the hour. Read the question, find the answer, and place the time on the clock. This morning, a doctor went into work at a hospital. What time did the doctor arrive at the hospital? So we need to look at the clock to see what time. So the first thing we do is look at the little hand. The little hand tells us what hour it is. So I see that we have a big hand and a little hand. Now the little hand is pointing at the 7. Okay? So I'll circle that. so that we remember that the little hand is pointed at the 7. I just went over it. How about I highlight that? Our little hand is on the 7. Okay, when the big hand right here is pointed at the 12, that means o'clock. Can you say o'clock? So this shows 7 o'clock. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to circle 7 o'clock. Now we're going to write it on the digital clock. We already have the 0, 0. What's missing is a 7. So I'm putting the 7 in here, and I need you to do it too. Now, because it says morning over here, that's why it says AM. Okay, so we have the first one, the doctor arrived at 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Now, number 2. This morning, my brother, my mom, and I did a science experiment at home. What time did we start doing the science experiment? So the first thing we need to do is look at the little hand. Okay, here's my little hand of the clock. What number is it pointing at? It's pointing at the 10. Now, my big hand is going up to the 12. When it's pointing at the 12, it means o'clock. So this shows 10 o'clock. So now our job is to circle 10 o'clock and write in 10 o'clock. Now, if you are happier typing it in, you can hit the T at the bottom and type in your 10 o'clock. It all is what you're comfortable with, and then you could just pull it into the square. So I should erase mine first with a much bigger eraser. And then I can take my 10 and put it right into the box. So it's whatever you're happy with. So you have 7 o'clock for the first one, 10 o'clock for the second one, and here again it says morning, and that's why it has AM on the clock. Okay, when you're done, hit submit. Now we're moving to the half hour. The half hour is when the big hand is looking at the 6. And when the big hand is looking at the 6, it means 30, because we count by 5s going around. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So all of the ones on this page are going to end with 30 minutes. It's something 30. Now, if you look, all the choices have 30 there. Okay, so it should be easy for us to remember. Now, our first job, we need to look at the little hand. So on the first one, the little hand is between the 4 and the 5. I like to think of it like a race. It didn't cross the finish line to get to 5 yet, so it's still at 4. It's working, but it didn't get there yet. So, the reading is, this afternoon, my dad read an article about staying healthy. What time did he start reading the article? So this shows us 4. And remember, the 6 shows us 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So this clock shows us 4:30. Now I circled 4:30, can you? Okay. Now, we need to write in 4:30. You can write it, or you can type it with the T. And the last part that we have to do is it says this afternoon. Morning is AM time. Afternoon is PM. So we have to actually circle PM. So your dad started reading the article at 4:30 PM. Now, one more on this page. This morning, a nurse went to work at a doctor's office. What time did the nurse arrive at the doctor's office? So it says morning right in the story. Okay. Now, first we look at our little hand. Here's my little hand. I'm going to continue the line. My little hand is pointing between the 8 and the 9. So it didn't cross the finish line to 9 yet. That means it's 8. And remember, when it's pointing at the 6, it's 30 because it goes 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So this clock shows 8:30. So I'm circling 8:30. Can you? Okay. Now, we need to put 8:30 on this clock. And we need to find out if it's AM or PM. So it says morning, and morning time is AM. So we have 4:30 PM and 8:30 AM. When you're done, hit submit. Okay, time to the quarter hour. Okay, our quarter hours are going to be on 12, 3, 6, or 9. Now we already did o'clock, which is the 12, and 30, which is the 6. So we're just going to count, and I'm going to show you that anytime the big hand is pointing at the 3, it will be a 15. And anytime it's pointing at the 9, it's going to be 45. So starting at the 1, we count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Okay? So, let's look at this. This morning, my brother and I did math worksheets at home. What time did we start doing math worksheets? So, first we look at our little hands. My little hand, right now, if I continue it, is between the 11 and the 12. Okay, so it didn't pass the finish line to 12 yet. That means it's 11. Now let's make sure 11:15 is an answer. Let's make sure it's right by counting by 5s. Starting at 1, 5, 10, 15. I hope you counted with me. So 11:15 is my answer. I circled. Now, it's 11:15 in the morning. I don't think you'd be doing worksheets at 11:15 at night. So morning is AM. I'm circling AM. Now, I have to write in my answer on the clock. 11:15. And we only have one left. I know you can do it. Hang in there. Ready? Let's look at our next one. This afternoon, we need to know that, a leader gave a speech about staying healthy. What time did the speech start? So first we started our little hands. I'm going to continue my line. Did it cross the finish line to 2 yet? Not yet. It's not pointing at 2. So that means it's still on 1. It's running the race to 2, but it didn't finish. So look, only one choice has 1. It says 1:45. So we're going to count from 5, starting at 1, to make sure that's right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. That's when my big hand's pointing, right at that 9, which tells me 45. So our answer is 1:45. Now I'm going to write in 1:45. The last thing that we have to do is circle AM and PM. Or PM. Ready? So this says afternoon. AM is morning. Afternoon? Is that morning? No, it's PM. So circle PM. And you're all done. Great job.